Alright guys, Gipra here, and for this video, I am finally putting out my um, Holy Paaladin PvE guide. I don't play PvP, I haven't really gotten into it yet, so this is how I play Holy Paaladin in PvE. It's actually rather simple, rather easy, and it can be quite effective as long as you start learning your skills and learning what they do. So we'll go ahead and jump into the talents I use. I run a 32.5 for Holy Paaladin, and we'll just go right down the list as to what I use. I put 3 points in Protector of the Innocent, which is just awesome because basically it allows you to heal yourself while you're healing other people, so you don't have to cast heals on yourself very often. Judgment of the Peer basically gives you mana regen when you use Judgment, which is awesome. So that's one of the key features I'll be talking about is when we get into skills. Clarity of Purpose reduces casting times. Last Word, I only do one of these because yeah, you only really need one. 1 point in Divine Favor, 2 points in Fusion of Light, 2 points in Daybreak, 2 points in Enlightened Judgments, 1 point in Beacon of Light. Beacon of Light is one of your main skills. You need to have it as a Holy Paladin. We have 3 in Speed of Light, 1 in Sacred Cleansing, 2 in Paragon of Virtue, 1 in Aura Mastery, 3 in Conviction, 3 in Tower of Radiance, 1 in Light of Dawn. We'll go into Protection, which we have 3 in Divinity, 2 in Eternal Glory, and then we'll go into Retribution. We have 3 in Crusade, and then 1 in Improved Judgment. Again, there are tons and tons of talents that you can pick and choose from, and it's really up to how you want to do it. This is how I play my Holy Paladin. It seems to work. I can heal heroics, keep people alive most of the time, assuming the group knows what they're doing. So yeah. Now we're going to go over the gear. Now gear is extremely important because if you don't have any intellect, you're not going to be able to heal because you won't have mana. Now I have alright gear. I have still yet to get a helmet. I'm still stuck with this crappy 333 Stormforged helm because I cannot get another piece of gear because you can't buy a good one with justice points, and every single time I've run a heroic I've never had one drop for me. But on your gear, the main stat you want to focus on is intellect. Intellect. And that's going to give you your mana, that's going to improve the heals on your healing spells. It's going to make your life a lot easier if you have the most intellect as this game will allow. So, all of my gear has intellect on it. Except for this trinket. Sometimes trinkets you can't get intellect on. That's okay. I have this one that gives me 383. So, focus on intellect. Now, there is a big, you can go either way as far as your next stat. I personally prefer Spirit as my next stat. Some people like Haste. I personally just like Spirit because it increases my mana regen, which means I can heal more often, which means my mana is going to regen a lot faster, which means we don't have to stop as much. I am all about quality time. If I don't have to sit down and mana all the time, we can keep going and, run through heroics time after time. And if I don't have to stop, it gives me so much more justice points or whatever is going on. So I focus on getting intellect and spirit first, and then I generally try to go after haste after that. So some of these items have haste. I mean, really, after intellect and spirit, it doesn't really matter to me. I can heal either way, but in order for me, I generally try to focus on intellect, spirit, then haste. Mastery is rather nice because it places a bubble on your target that you heal, and it gives a certain percent. Let me just look at that really quick. Illuminating healing. Your direct healing spell is also placed an absorbed shield on your target for 18% of the amount healed, lasting 15 seconds. Each point of mastery increases the absorbed amount by an additional 1.5%. Okay, it's not very much. 18% of 9,180 is like a little over 1,000. You know, it's not really that much. It's not going to make or break a heal. Unless, I mean, maybe if you're doing divine lights that you're just spamming and you're getting criticals. But really, it doesn't, I don't know. To me, it just doesn't really add up all that much. So I focus on intellect, spirit, haste, and then it's kind of a toss-up between critical strike and mastery. Um, Obviously, on your one-handed weapon, you want spell power because it's the only thing that's going to give you your spell power. And then you obviously want a shield. Yeah, and most of this gear I've gotten just by saving up justice points. These are, you can get an Hour of Twilight, which I'll be showing you later, is run through Hour of Twilights. So yeah, it's really easy to gear up now with the Hour of Twilight heroics. They literally take me like 20 minutes to go through, generally, you know, give or take. And you get 210 justice points. If you still need your valor points, you get those. You get gold, and it's just pretty awesome. So it's really easy to get geared now. And so yeah, that's basically all you need to know about gear. Fortunately, I haven't got up to the point where I do enchanting yet, mostly because I haven't really gotten into raiding. I mostly just run heroics. We're building a raiding team together. I have some people in the guild that can do enchanting. So once I get my enchants on this character, once I have the gear that I actually want to pay for enchanting, then I'll put out another guide separately on enchanting. But for now, we have the talents, we have the gear taken care of. So let's talk about skills. Skills that you need to learn. Actually, let's go over the glyphs that I use. So I have a full glyph page here. I use Glyph of Seal of Insight. Increases your healing spells by 5%. There's not really much to choose from as far as prime glyphs go. As far as Holy Spec, an extra 5% is kind of nice. You know, it's not gonna make or break anything, but the extra 5% does help a little bit. We have Word of Glory. Again, not much to choose from, but 10% on Word of Glory, 10% on a free heal. When I can get, you know, 50k heal crits on Word of Glory, it's pretty awesome. Then Divine Favor. Divine Favor I use all the time. We'll talk about the skill, but it reduces the or increases the duration by 10 seconds, which is really awesome. So we'll go over that once we get into the skills. Then we have Glyph of Cleansing. You're going to be using cleansing a lot. I keybind it because you need to cleanse people. When you see something bad on someone, try and cleanse it. Glyph of Rebuke. I just put that in there because I really had nothing else to put in, and Rebuke is nice if you need to interrupt something. Lay on Hands. You get 10% of your mana if you use Lay on Hands. So if someone's like, if your tank's about to die, just use Lay on Hands. You're gonna get 10% of your mana back. I know it's a long cooldown, but it's worth it to not have your party wipe. Glyph of Truth. I mean, basically all of your minor glyphs are just reducing the mana cost of your buffs. So I had Glyph of Truth. I really need to get Seal or Glyph of Insight, but it costs a ton of money. I don't really care. Blessing of Might and Blessing of Kings, just because you're going to be using either one depending on if you have druids or whatever, another paladin in your party. So that's basically it for glyphs. There's not too much to choose from. It's not, you know, that great as far as our selection. So now we'll go into skills and what I use. So first we'll talk about buffs. More often than not, I will use Blessing of Kings and Seal of Insight. Always Seal of Insight. Just because it works with your the glyph you have, and if you attack, it restores, you know, a chance to heal you and restore some of your mana. And it's just really all around just the perfect one to have. Blessing of Kings obviously gives you a whole bunch of stat bonuses. Sometimes you'll use Blessing of Might if you have like a druid that uses Mark of the Wild. This just increases attack power of people and increases your mana regen. which is pretty awesome for a Holy Paaladin. So yes, if you have some other buff or another Paladin, another Druid, use Blessing of Might. If anything else, Blessing of Kings. As far as auras go, I change auras around a lot depending on the certain instance. That's part of being a Holy Paladin, part of healing, part of running heroics. You need to know what you're running. If you have no idea what's going on, then you have no idea which aura to use. More often than not, you're going to use Devotion or Resistance Aura. If you're in a place that is full of mages, use Resistance Aura. If you're in a place full of melee, use Devotion Aura. If there's a bunch and ton of melee and you know you can heal it without the extra armor, Retribution Aura, because they're going to be taking lots of damage. I hardly ever use Concentration Aura. I only ever use it to cast with Aura Mastery, just so we can't be silenced or anything like that. Crusader Aura, obviously if you need to run faster on a mount, then you can use Crusader Aura, but you don't need to have that up in fight. If you do, change it as soon as possible. So now we're going to go over your main healing abilities. My favorite, #1 priority healing spell, Holy Shock. Blast the target with holy energy, causing 5,937 holy damage to an enemy or 7,205 healing to an ally, and grants a charge of holy power. Guys, you need to build up holy power. That is one of the most important things of the Holy Paaladin, or Paladin in general. This Holy